My name's Calvin Waite, and I trade Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for a living.
Today we are going to talk about Ripple, and we're going to do a solid analysis on where Ripple is going. But first of all, I do have a question. So, as a trader, what gives us an edge? What gives us an edge over all of the other investors that are looking at the same information? The edge comes from having some kind of an insight or some kind of knowledge of events that the majority doesn't have yet or hasn't fully digested. And so today, even though technically all information that is publicly known about an asset is shown in the chart and in the structure of the chart, there are some fundamentals that have been in the news lately that will really kind of help guide this discussion, because the chart is saying one thing and the news is saying something else, which is, I believe, where we are going to find an edge when trading XRP. So this should be a pretty interesting discussion. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of news. So in the last week, we've had so much FUD about Ripple and how much is being sold. Huge increases in XRP sales. The co-founder is increasing XRP dumps by 266%. It's just bad news after bad news, and it's been an entire week or more of this. And here's a big one. Ripple has released 1 billion XRP. What does this mean? So this is where I believe Ripple has a FUD problem and not a fundamentals problem. I actually think that the fundamentals are in place, but that it is FUD that is causing the sell-off. And we will get into the details of the chart, but this 1 billion Ripple would be devastating if all of a sudden a billion Ripple was dumped onto the market. So where did that come from? So back in 2017, there is an article that talks about what is going to happen with Ripple each month. And what happened is there was 55 billion XRP that they put into a smart contract that would allow 1 billion to be released every month to kind of project to all investors that they have an orderly way of doing this, and that the company is not just going to free for all dump the rest of the open coins that are not part of the circulating supply. So if you look here, this is the article that explains all of this. So the advantage of having a coin on a blockchain is that all of this information is public anyway. So we can actually go to CoinMarketCap and click on historical snapshots and see what the facts are. Because the herd believes that Ripple's just dumping endless supplies, but we have a historical snapshot of the blockchain to see what the circulating supply is at any given time. So what I did is I went to each of the beginning, the first snapshot of each year, and I recorded how much circulating supply of XRP there was at the beginning of each year. This will give us the inflation rate, the true inflation rate of how much Ripple is being released or being essentially, dumped onto the market, like what is being released. So if I take this from 2014 to current and I annualize the current year, because we're only in August 10th today, you can see that starting in 2015 to 2016, our annual money supply inflation rate has been 8%, 6%, 5%. Now we've averaged about 6%. If you go and Google what the inflation rate is, Google will say that it's 20.5% per year. That is so much different than what the blockchain is showing. And I love this website. ViewBase gives you inflation rates on different coins. And because of the article, it essentially says that they can dump 1 billion per month, but are they? No. And what happens is if you go back to the article, you can see that the company will sell enough to pay for expenses and for marketing and whatever they need to do to keep Ripple going. But if they don't use it all, they lock up the remainder and add it in the end to be released in the future as in a smart contract. So the net result is that the amount that is being truly released is not near what the news is saying. So now there's disparity between what the herd is getting and what they're digesting and what the facts are. So armed with the facts, we can make a smarter decision on where the coin is going. Okay, so now let's look at the chart. This is the weekly chart, 1Bittrex, so we have data since 2015. So this is a solid amount of time. We're looking at a good 5.5 years worth of information here. There are a couple of obvious levels. This level right here is huge, and this is the one that we've been battling. This is probably the most important level. There was one a while ago up here. So between this level and the level that we've been fighting with down here, those are our two major horizontal pieces of resistance. There was a longer term resistance that has dropped down, but we have recently crossed it. So this shows an end of our decline, and looking at some extra help and a little bit of support down here. So where we have experienced a solid 2 years of very rough, probably 2.5 years worth of rough price decline, we're starting to show a little bit of signs of life. Now, we tried before, so the question is this any different? So I'm going to add a few lines that I've already drawn from the past. These were support here, so these will eventually be resistance. There was resistance here and resistance here. So there's a little bit of work up high, but like I said, probably this section right here is probably the most important. I'm gonna put that line down really quick, but it is essentially right here that has been a huge. This is the one that's at play right now. We've used it as support. We're fighting it now. So let's get in a little bit closer. I'll switch over to daily, and we will go to look at some of these trend lines. So if I zoom way out, we'll get a kind of a big picture look at how it has behaved over the years. So the way that I like to trade this is when you get out of these red zones, that's when it's a decent time to make a buy. And we had kind of a false alarm here, kind of a false alarm here, and then a huge payday here. So sometimes as a trader, you have to make a gutsy decision. You have to go ahead and take the plunge, and it may not work out every time. But with crypto, it's just a thing where you just get rewarded like crazy for taking these risks. You just have to be consistent and have the guts to take them. So here we would enter. We would have entered anywhere along these three places. Our exit is when we exit the green. This would have been a phenomenal return. Okay, then we get out of the red again. Another sweet return. But now, here's our downturn. This is where we've been getting kicked in the teeth. Here's one more. Okay, I'm sorry. I guess there was one more green zone. Enter here, and then exit here. So this would have been a decent return. This would have been maybe a 80% return, something like that. But now we're getting slaughtered. This is end of 2019. We haven't seen prices like this for years. We exited the red zone here. This was an entrance. I actually did enter here. I bought a decent amount right here. But, false alarm, we exited again right here. Here we're flipping back and forth, but see, this is the same entrance as this. So this is another one of those where you just sit and be patient. Well, by far, the best entrance that we've had was a month ago, right here. In July, when we exited this red zone right here, XRP at 2100 is a beautiful opportunity. I feel like this move is going to be awesome. Like right now, we are kind of fighting this resistance, but the rest of the market thinks that XRP is being flooded and that it's just being dumped on and dumped on and dumped on. But the facts are that that's not necessarily the case. XRP has a financial incentive to improve their price and to keep their company strong. And by just killing their coin, there's just not an incentive to do that. So we have seen proof of that. We have seen, sure, we had a long decline, but we have leveled off in a major way. All of these trend lines, the 200-day moving average has flattened, the 100-day has flattened, the 50-day has flattened, and now we're looking at the 50-week flattening. So we have 4 major trend lines that are essentially converging, and we're hitting a quiet period. Where there's no more momentum to the downside and we're hitting a quiet period, what do you think that means? So even if we didn't know anything about the fundamentals of news versus FUD versus public opinion, looking at this chart, the bleeding has stopped. Everybody that can read a chart is looking to the upside. And what's exciting is we had a death cross way up here, 8,000. Guess where our next death cross, or excuse me, our golden cross to offset that is? We have not had it yet, but we are going to soon. This is monumental. If the herd sees anything in the news, they will see that there is a golden cross, and it'll be about 2 weeks from now. So, you know, like I say, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not accredited to give out financial advice, but where the downside has limited and we are converging here and we're about to have a golden cross, XRP looks fantastic. This could easily be a 100%, 200% return over the next 6 months to a year. I'm very happy about my purchase. I'm a little upside down from where I entered, but I don't care. This is a long-term hold for me because this is going to pay off. Super exciting. I think Ripple is looking awesome right now. So there's my opinion. I hope that helps some of you. And obviously you guys make your own decisions, but from my perspective, this looks awesome.
Hey, look at that. You made it through another video. If you appreciated anything I said, I would really like it if you could give me a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel. If I can grow the channel a little bit more, I'd love to start doing giveaways and make things a little bit more fun around here.